For years, Prashant Kishor has been the man behind some of India's biggest political victories. He has helped shape election campaigns for veteran leaders such as Narendra Modi, Nitish Kumar, Mamata Banerjee, Jagan Mohan Reddy, Arvind Kejriwal, and several others. He has clearly built strategies, crafted narratives, and changed the way elections are fought in India. But there was one question that literally followed him everywhere, which has been that can the kingmaker become the king? Well, that question has finally been answered. Prashant Kishor has now won his first ever election, defeating the BJP in its own stronghold of Bankipur in Bihar. But is this just a by-election victory, or is this the beginning of a much bigger political shift in Bihar? Now, let's try to understand that. Prashant Kishor entered active politics after spending over a decade as India's most sought after election strategist. In the year 2024, he formally launched the Jan Swaraj Party after traveling across Bihar for nearly 2 years through his Jan Swaraj campaign. His promise was simple that move beyond identity politics and focus on education, governance, employment, and also accountability. However, when the Bihar Assembly elections were held last year in 2025, the results were clearly disappointing. Jan Swaraj failed to win even a single seat. Many political observers declared that this experiment is clearly over. Questions were raised about whether Kishor's strategy worked only when he was behind the scenes and not when he himself entered the electoral battlefield. Now, less than a year later, that narrative has changed dramatically. This isn't just Prashant Kishor winning one assembly seat, it is where he won and whom he defeated. That makes the clear difference here. Bankipur has long been considered a BJP bastion in Patna. Winning this seat is politically significant because it sends a message that even established political strongholds can be really challenged. Secondly, this victory gives Prashant Kishore something he never had before, which is an electoral mandate of his very own. Until now, his political legitimacy came from advising winning leaders. Today, he carries the legitimacy of being elected by the people himself. Now, that changes the conversation entirely. Third, this victory breathes fresh life into the Jan Swaraj party. After the setback in the year 2025, many believed that the party would struggle to remain politically relevant. Instead, this bypoll has placed Jan Swaraj back at the center of Bihar's political discourse. Finally, the result adds a new dimension to Bihar's politics. Now, for decades, the state's politics has largely revolved around the NDA on one side and RJD led opposition on the other. Prashant Kishore wants to position Jan Swaraj as a credible third alternative in Bihar. Now, whether that ambition succeeds, it still remains to be seen. But this victory clearly strengthens his claim. At the same time, it's important not to overstate this result as well. A by-election is very different from a full assembly election. Voting patterns are often influenced by local issues, candidate appeal, and lower voter turnout as well. One victory alone does not guarantee statewide success. The real challenge for Prashant Kishore actually begins now. Can he convert personal popularity into an organization that performs across Bihar? Can Jan Swaraj build a cadre strong enough to compete with parties that have decades of organizational experience? And perhaps the biggest question here is, can Prashant Kishore transform from being India's most successful election strategist into a long term political leader? Now, only time will answer that. But one thing, however, is certain that this victory is much bigger than one assembly seat. This victory marks the first real political validation of Prashant Kishore's own journey, from advising governments to asking people for their vote. For Bihar, this could signal the rise of a new political force as well. And for Indian politics, it marks the beginning of an entirely new chapter in the career of the country's most influential election strategist. However, the question now is no longer whether Prashant Kishore can win an election. He has clearly won. The real question here is, can he change the political future of Bihar? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And also, if you enjoy in-depth political analysis and stories that go beyond the headlines, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.